Welcome again to Gene Ho. It was an early bird like he always is. And I've asked him about his weekend retreat. I mean, you just at midnight on Friday collapse in a heap and then
No,
recover
yeah,
over the weekend.
I actually have hobbies. I grew up in New York and I never thought I would do this, but I actually like going fishing. I go fishing, I relax a
Oh,
little bit. So it's it's weekends are very enjoyable here.
yeah. I mean, what do you catch and where?
I have a pond in my backyard, and it's been there's a lot of fish in there, catfish, bluegill, bass, and so it makes it really fun. Sometimes the children go out there with me, and it's my form of relaxation. I never imagined in 100 years that it would be the case, but it's great.
That's a magnificent goldfish bowl, it sounds like to me. And
It looks, I think it's like cheating. I really do. It's all right. Right. I put in the fish myself, to be honest, Rod. What did they call it? In America, we call it stocking the pond. So I
Stuck
don't
in the
know.
hole. There you go. Listen, what is the difference between sea bass and inland river bass in
Uh,
the
I,
States?
I I like both, but I've never caught one out in the actual ocean. Ocean fishing to me, and even lake fishing, is very for me. It's very difficult. I've been out in the ocean, never caught a thing. I've been out on lakes before, really never caught anything. But if if you, for people like me who have the weekend, it's I expect a little pond where I can pull them out almost every 5 minutes. So it's pretty fun.
Oh, I bet you can if it's that size. Having said that, sea bass, we get a lot of it here, and it's very good for you because it's a slightly oily fish, which is good for the
Yeah,
health.
when we had the sea bass here, to be honest, I really couldn't taste much of a difference between that and the actual ones that you get in the ocean.
Right.
So it's very good. I love it.
There's a lot of farms, sea farms here, especially around Greece, the other end of the Mediterranean. And I always worry about that because you're forever fighting infections, aren't you, that can spread very quickly if the fish are in close confinement.
Oh, I seen them before. It's an interesting concept. But I know, like, if I was out in the ocean, I have a friend who is a professional fisherman, fishes for the country, for Puerto Rico, fishes for Puerto Rico in their tournaments. And I don't know how he does it. I asked him, but he figured it out how to fish out in the ocean. So
We get tuna here quite a lot of the year, actually, and they are worth a fortune.
yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah, but having it cooked properly, fresh tuna is a whole different ball game, isn't it, to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
frozen stuff?
Yeah, I mean they auction them off. If it's good, they auction them off for sushi. It's great.
Yes, and sushi is raw, of course. Very healthy. Listen, we're going to talk about things that are not so healthy. Well, maybe they are, because tomorrow you've got a big in South Carolina election. And is it a foregone conclusion that Pamela Everett's going to, having
No,
received?
no,
Oh,
no, it is not. And this is a much watched election. And we talked about, I think, last week, the South Carolina is especially important because it is the first in the South, basically for the Republicans. Almost every single candidate that they chose during the Republican presidential primary has went on to win the nomination. Now, this is going to be a very close race. South Carolina is a powerhouse in politics for whatever reason. We've had two major candidates, Lindsey Graham running for president, and of course, after that, Nikki Haley. Both of them are from South Carolina. So this is a big election tomorrow. Trump endorsed Pamela Evette, but she is not a foregone conclusion. There's the Attorney General Alan Wilson, who is neck and neck, I believe, and he is part of the system. When I say that, he's embedded into the I will not say the swamp, but the infrastructure. So you have him, Pam Evette, and of course Nancy Mace, who is very popular outside of her state as well.
Well, Lindsey Graham, yes, he's seen to be, how can I phrase this? Part of the establishment, isn't he?
Lindsey Graham is. There's no, there's no way he could say any more part of the establishment. However, Donald Trump has endorsed him. Lindsey Graham serves as the unofficial party whip. So it's not official, but when Donald Trump needs something done in the Senate, remember, there's only, what, 52 Republican senators? Lindsey Graham has a great relationship with all of them. So when Donald Trump needs something, he calls up Lindsey Graham, and Lindsey Graham is kind of the go-between on a lot of these. And so even though he would be considered more than the establishment there, he worked very well with Donald Trump. Now, because of this, Lindsey Graham, I've seen it before. At some of the rallies, when Trump announces him, he's gotten booed before, but he is the one that Donald Trump has endorsed, and he works very well with Donald Trump, like it or not. He's his pick. He's his endorsed pick. And he, by the way, going against, I think, Mark Lynch, that one looks like a slam dunk. That one looks like Lindsey Graham will win easily.
Well, would you go as far as to say he's master of the dark arts, being a political statement?
Um, it's very interesting because when it comes to politics, Lindsey Graham is very wily. You have to remember all of these people that I speak about, all of them, I've known either because I worked with them in the Trump campaign. I worked with Nancy Mace and Alan Wilson. And other ones of them I have actually photographed. For example, I did a couple events for Lindsey Graham as his photographer. And so I know all these people here. Lindsey Graham is just a wily politician. He knows he's the different kind of politician. Rodney, Donald Trump is he's the type that says, this is what I'm going to do, like it or not, join me or not, and he does it. That's his type of politician. No offense, by the way, to Lindsey Graham. He is more of a Bill Clinton type politician. They figure out which way the wind is blowing, and then they go that way, and then they stay in office for many years. That's not necessarily a knock on Lindsey Graham, but that's what politicians do. The master of it was Bill Clinton. He would find out which way the wind is blowing, and he would go that way. And he was, like it or not, Bill Clinton was very popular in the United States during this time as president.
In the States, Gene, do ladies vote for ladies and men tend to vote for the men?
That is a great question. The answer is no. The people here, for lack of a better word, they are, for the most part, very educated on what it is. Now, it's very interesting because Dave Blaze and I did some research on who was following the main candidate, the Democrat person. I think his name is Grant Planter or Plannon or whatever. Anyway, he is running for senator. He has a lot of female voters that follow him. He's kind of like a Democratic macho man type thing, very deep voice. And a lot of people like him, or on the Democrat like him. But for the most part, people in the United States are very educated when they come to this, and they are the voting base really will look for what their best interests are, whether it's a female or male.
Trump's pick of governor in Iowa failed last out. And
Yes.
well, there was local issues. I mean, there was the Make America Healthy Again brigade that he had to combat. What's that about?
Well, that was one of the few blemishes, and that's why where Trump endorsed somebody and they failed to win. Some people say that he just endorsed a little bit too late. That's why tomorrow's election is so important, or Tuesday, depending on when this comes out, because Donald Trump did endorse Pam Evitt. Now, if she doesn't win, the media will go, oh, see, now Trump has no more influence. But when it comes to Iowa, you have to remember, Iowa is a tremendously fickle voter base. Remember, before the South Carolina primary, it is the Iowa caucus, and they got it wrong almost every single time. I mean, I'm not even joking. They picked Ted Cruz over Donald Trump. Before that, and he's a friend of mine, George Magazine interviewed him. They picked Governor Mike Huckabee to be the nominee. They are just Iowa is just a very, very fickle type of voter base. And so that really can't be counted against Trump per se. And the Trump candidate then followed up with the endorsement of the one that beat him, showing the class of a Trump endorsee.
We mentioned Kash Patel last week. We're going to mention him again because the FBI is spreading its tentacles throughout the world more than ever before. Now, you've got to be careful because it's not a question of him sending his agents in and they're kicking down doors. They're not allowed to do that. I mean,
Right.
you've got to be a bit more diplomatic, but you can still open places in key areas and be a
Yeah.
presence there.
Rodney, that's exactly right. And that is what Kash Patel, Director Patel, is doing. As you mentioned, there are rules that they have to follow. So one of the rules that they did is they actually went into Thailand, and instead of going in there like, which they can't, like gangbusters cowboys, they set up shop in the American Council, American Embassy, which they're allowed to do. It's sovereign U.S. territory.
Yeah.
And they just meet privately and almost secretly with the local police, in this case, the Royal Thai Police. And then they say, these are our investigations that leads to your front door here. And what are you going to do about it? In less, in more simpler terms. And he's gone there. He's done that in Thailand. He secretly went to China, and then it was leaked or brought out afterwards, just to talk diplomatically with the local police there. So this Kash Patel, it is no question the #1 FBI director that we've ever had. And I say this not because I know him or I'm a fan of his or I like what he's doing, but it's in the sheer number of arrests since he's been in office. This guy's a wrecking machine in a good way.
Is this through the ICE agency you're referring to?
FBI is working with ICE. They are a separate entity, but they're working together. And this is for maybe the first time in a long time. A lot of the intelligence and the offices in the United States have been separated. Donald Trump, what he did is had them all work together. ICE works with ICE works with FBI, FBI works with CIA, and that is what Donald Trump has done. Before that, they were all running their own little operations, so to speak. Donald Trump was the first president to really say, listen, let's all work together, share intelligence, and that's what he's been doing. It's record crime down in America.
ICE has got a bad reputation in Western Europe. Of course it has. They're listening to the Democrat version of ICE. I mean, can you do anything about that?
You know what? Obviously, everyone knows here, even Trump supporters, it really had a lot of bad press there. I couldn't even imagine if it's like this in the United States, by the time it gets to the liberal press in other parts of the world, it's probably expanded sevenfold. However, everything that's going on here, secretly or not secretly, the American voters love it. Now, you might not hear it all the time because no one wants to say, oh, look how great they're taking all these people and throwing them out of the country. But secretly or not so secretly, that's what Americans want. And it's happening. So it's cleaning up. Things are falling into place with Donald Trump. And the tail of the tape is the midterms coming up. So we'll see that.
Indeed. On an international basis, finally, I've been deep diving into American history because it's all tied up with diplomacy, the Chagos Islands, because Donald's got his checkbook out. And one option of many options is to buy Chagos. Chagos, same place, different pronunciation. Now, there's 6 people, Chagosians, actually occupying it at the moment. Donald Trump wanted cooperation off our Prime Minister in Britain, to get some flights out of there, especially with the early attacks on Iran. And Britain said no. Took a bit of courage, some people think, to say that. Or was it stupidity? But there again, he can buy the place. Now, checking into American history, this is no new thing because, of course, way back in previous centuries, that's how America got that wonderful place that you like, particularly Alaska. And what a deal that was, even allowing for inflation, bought off the Russians. And then the French were persuaded to sell Louisiana. Now, that was half America, actually. It doubled in size almost then. And it went right down to New Orleans. A goodbye. Now, that was diplomacy then. Would he get away with it now?
Well, here's what's going on, and a lot of Americans don't even know this, but what Donald Trump is working on doing, it's already been approved, is what we call the Golden Dome. As you know, Israel has the Iron Dome and they have David's Sling. This is the Golden Dome over all of the United States. And in order to do that, it needs 2 anchor points. One we already got. This is Guam. And a lot of, maybe because of my education, a lot of Americans don't know that it's already a United States territory. So one anchor point is in Guam. Not sure exact place, but it's near to Hawaii or past that. That's an anchor point. And the other anchor point is in Greenland. And America has already negotiated to get that piece of land so that they could have the other anchor point there. So all of this expansionist, so-called, we still call it the United States of America. We have our states. But, acquiring other places strategically has always been, as you mentioned, part of the history of the United States. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning, of course, that everything was turned on its head after the end of Second World War, when that kind of checkbook diplomacy was not really welcomed. The UN was set up, of course, and they took over this kind of international law, which has caused havoc. And of course, the UN itself arguably has been taken over by other people, mainly of Muslim extraction. And it's very difficult to get anything done. So maybe the Donald is saying, let's get back to original bases and let's give them a good offer that they can't refuse. You've mentioned Greenland. I think a good offer to Denmark might actually be coming off eventually.
Yeah, it could be. As far as I know, the piece of land is already been negotiated. Basically, a corner of it where the United States would need to put the other anchor of it. I believe that's done, but you never know how Donald Trump does things, and he's going to do things for the best interest of the safety of Americans.
Well, he's a businessman, let's be honest. That's what it's all about. If he can do a deal, he will. And we've
Right.
not had that for many years, Gene.
Yes, yes. I mean, this is people living in the United States understand how special and incredible this president is. He's not like anyone else. And once we're talking years down the road, he's going to be celebrated. And a lot of people here know that. They really feel that they have gotten something special. And this is different. This is unprecedented, what he's doing.
Fascinating times, fascinating to chat to you. Thank you so
Hey,
much.
thank you so much. I just want to let you know that the readers of George Magazine appreciate you and your viewership. And we thank you for all the support. And we thank you for all the insight that you give us from the other side as well.
Well, bless you for that. We'll see you very shortly.
All right. Thank you.